Sad. I think the monarchy is damaged. Personally, I do. But given where we were this time last week, my view is it's the right conclusion. Well, let me ask somebody who was with us last week and who studied these things for many, many years. Are you serious? I'm joined by Phil Dampier, royal commentator and author of Royally Suited, Harry and Meghan in Their Own Words. Phil, good morning to you.
Good morning, Nigel.
So, I have to say, okay, when the Queen said she'd do this in days, she has, hasn't she?
She certainly has, Nigel, and she's acted decisively. I think I was on your show last week, and I said that I didn't think that she would strip them of the titles, and I also said that I thought they were a bargaining chip. So I suppose I was half right. She hasn't technically stripped them of the titles, but of course they're not using them. But as you say, even last night on their website, they were referring to themselves as their Royal Highnesses. So they do like to sort of be unpredictable, this couple.
Stop it.
And you don't really know where you are with them. But interestingly, one commentator, Alistair Bruce, who does know a lot about these things, was saying last night that he thought that almost the titles were in cold storage, in abeyance, and they could literally be defrosted at a moment's notice sometime in the future.
Are you serious?
And reused. So
yes.
I don't know what circumstances he foresaw that might happen. I suppose possibly if Harry, if God forbid they split up and Harry wants to come back and carry on with his royal duties, I suppose that's one possibility. But it is a very strange up-in-the-air situation.
Fact.
But basically, you're talking about winners and losers. I agree with you. I think that Meghan is a big winner in this. She's got pretty much what she wants. I don't think she's bothered about HRH in front of her name as long as she can call herself the Duchess of Sussex and make money and do the deals and support the charities and causes she wants to. I think Harry at the moment is partly a winner but could be a big loser in the long run. As you say, he's given up a lot. He's given up to some extent.
Are you serious?
His friends, his family, his attachments,
everything
with the military. I mean, something like, as you say, the Captain General of the Marines, which he was handed by Prince Philip. That's not a light thing. That's something that he would have been very, very proud of.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And I think to give that up is going to be very difficult for him. And he's going to carry on, of course, with the Invictus Games. That's the one massive, success story that he can claim. But to lose all those things is going to be very difficult. Interestingly, one thing...
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
You haven't mentioned so far is that this is going to be reviewed in 12 months.
Yeah.
So if it's not working, or if the Queen feels that, they're becoming too commercial, or if it's just not working out for them, this can change. So this is how we move forward. We still don't know about...
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
...the costs of security, but there's still quite a lot of unanswered questions.
Reviewed in a year's time, but you know what, Phil? Somehow I don't see Meghan moving back, do you?
I don't see her moving back. I mean, they're saying that they're going to keep Frogmore Cottage, they're going to pay back the cost on that, but they are going to keep it as their home. What is going to be interesting in the next couple of months, all of this starts in the spring, they're saying, and they might have a couple of jobs before then, and I shall be absolutely fascinated to see if they do actually come into contact with members of the public, what sort of reaction they get. I'm sure there'll be some people who will just, as usual, be in awe of them and just clap them and cheer them. But I just wonder whether there'll be anyone who'll be slightly less enthusiastic.
It's interesting, Phil, isn't it? There is a generational split on this. I mean, I was last week.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Using the word duty. He was born to this. It's a duty. He's letting the side down, and I think actually, probably a significant majority of the over 40s in the country, over 50s in the country, feel that.
Are you serious?
And yet, younger people say they should just be happy.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, in a sense, if they are giving up the titles and they are giving up, many...
Wait for it.
Many of the things that go with royalty, in a sense, they've got a chance to go and be happy, haven't they?
Absolutely, and I wish them happiness. I genuinely hope this is the best thing for them. I genuinely hope they can make it work, and who knows, in 4 or 5 years we may look back and say it was a good thing for the monarchy. You never know if it works in some way. It could reboot them, but at the moment I have my doubts. As I say, my one big fear is that something might go wrong with their marriage, and then we're going to be really in trouble because
in a very odd place.
We're going to be Harry's going to have massive problems there. So I hope it does work. I think even people who, older people, as you say, look at the Queen's sense of duty and the shift that she's put in for 67 years, they will sympathise and say, well, if you want to go off, good luck, but we don't necessarily feel we ought to pay for it.
And is this fact the modern day abdication?
It is. It's obviously not quite the same as Edward VIII because he was never going to be. He was never heir to the throne. He was all, and he's now 6th in line to the throne. So
he's giving that up too, isn't he?
He's
Very good question.
No, he's still going to be 6 in line to the throne. Yeah, he's not going to give that up. He'll still be 6 in line. He'll still be the Duke of Sussex, but he'll be on the same sort of status and level as the other 20 or 30 odd dukes in the country.
What is he doing?
People like the Duke of Devonshire and he won't have the royal title, so he'll just be a duke. Yeah. But he'll still be 6 in line to the throne. Archie will still be 7th in line to the throne, and they're still there if needed.
Now they've
Stop it.
promised, haven't they, to uphold the values of Her Majesty, and that, I'm guessing, is referring to what kind of commercial arrangements they're about to go into. What do you think would be appropriate? What do you think would be inappropriate?
Well,
very good question.
This is the big question in my mind. Is it going to be? Are they going to have some tacky sponsorships, or are they going to do some charity deal? And while Meghan flashes a Rolex watch or something, and then 2 days later there's an advert for it. This is going to. Whether they can keep the royal, that doesn't seem to have been quite thrashed out yet. But this I think is going to be the fundamental problem, and this is why I think they're going to review it after 12 months, because if they feel it's getting too cheap and too tacky, I think Thomas Markle, her dad, has already made apparently a TV interview which is going to be shown soon, in which he says rather accurately, she's turning the monarchy into Walmart with a crown on, and I thought that was quite a good analogy.
Get some help.
That is the big danger.
Yeah, well, we had a former Royal Marines officer, an SBS officer last week, saying we cannot have the monarchy privatised.
No.
And I guess that's why the titles, in a sense, have to go. And that's why I don't think the website Royal Sussex can be sustainable for that reason.
No, I don't. Coming back to the winners and losers, one thing I did want to say before we go, Nigel, is that I think the other big loser in this is Prince William. I feel very, very sorry for him. Right at the heart of this is two brothers who were once very, very close, falling out. That was probably the start of the problems. And now, of course, not only has he lost, a brother to some extent. I mean, I hope they make it up and I hope they're still in contact. But, to all intents and purposes, his brother's going to be living abroad, so he's not going to see much of him.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
He hasn't got that support. But now there's a hell of a burden on William and Kate because, the Queen is nearly 94, Prince Philip's retired at 98.
Yep. Prince Andrew's out of the picture.
Are you serious? Be the big problem. How are they going to be financially independent? How are they going to make money without commercialising and cheapening the monarchy? And it's not clear yet whether they can continue to use the Sussex royal name, whether they're just going to have to change it to Sussex or...
He's got a good PR guy, hasn't he?
Well, so did the royal family. They all seem to have very good PR guys.
No, I think the royal family have had terrible PR over the years, but that's a different debate. I mean, the point is, this, Narinder Kaur, thank you for joining me. I know that you have been supportive of Harry and of Meghan.
Yes. But
to constantly go on international media to be abusive about your brother, his wife, your father, to do this again and again and again,
well,
and to claim, hang on, and to claim that you have to do it in public because they won't listen in private. Let's face it, he's doing it for the money, isn't he?
Well, what's wrong if they're doing it for the money? They've got bills to pay. There's nothing wrong with that. Media makes money from Harry and Meghan. Why shouldn't they make their money?
Bro, what are you talking
about? Bills to, they're not sponging from the taxpayer.
Morally,
they're not
making money, slagging your own family off.
Well, no, because
and slagging your country off.
Well, no, King
Charles
and Prince William are doing underhand. This is a story of betrayal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Prince William has been very naughty.
The betrayal...
is from Prince William.
The betrayal was that Harry walked away. He was born to a life of privilege, but a life of duty as well. He did.
We don't care.
Let me tell you, we don't care.
Walked away from it.
He walked away from it. Should I tell you why he walked away? Because it took marrying a biracial woman for him to realise how racist the institution he was in. He thought, no, you cannot deny.
This is so wrong.
Nigel, how can you deny the racism?
Do you know how? Very simple. I think they had an absolute fairy tale wedding. I think the country took to them. In the early months, as she toured in Brixton and wherever else it was.
Yes. She did a great job.